It's been a while since I got to review a gaming chair, but thanks to Kyros, I'm right back in it because this is the Kyros Throne that I'm currently sitting on right now. The fundamentals and what you want from a gaming chair, for me at least, have not changed since the last time that I've reviewed one. It needs to be comfortable, it needs to be supportive, it needs to be made from quality materials, it needs to be sturdy in its longevity so that it lasts long, and lastly, it needs to look good. Kyros has many chairs in their arsenal, but like I said, we are doing the Throne today, and the Throne has 3 variants. Those variants are a leatherette, and then there are fabric variants, which is a black variant or dark variant, and a gray, which is the one that I'm sitting on today. So let's start off with the fundamental design. Now, for the most part, the design when completed is atypical, except for this. I thought this was really cool. It's a magnetic attach headrest. Even though atypical, I really started to get an understanding of the brand and their emphasis behind quality. Even from the unboxing to looking at the individual components, you could really start to get an understanding or a sort of, call it unconscious feel, well, more conscious than unconscious because you're actually building with them, but there is component quality in every part that they put into their build. Onto the fundamentals, and the first one being comfort. I'm a pretty heavy set guy, and when I sit on most gaming chairs, the chair knows it's being sat on. Now, the difference between that and this gaming chair was that when I sat down, it actually held its shape quite nicely. It was firm and it was supportive, which is really nice. That is because it does support up to 180 kilograms. So for me at least, I know comfort is subjective, I really found the chair comfortable from first impression, and it's not something that is going to take a long time to get used to because some chairs do take a long time for them to kind of mold to you, but this was comfortable from day one. Next on fundamentals, support. My first impressions when sitting on this chair was that it could have been a little bit more aggressive in its hugging features. What I mean by hugging features, it's basically when you're sitting in a sports car, you would sit and your shoulders would feel like they hugged, your legs would feel like they hugged, and you feel like you're gonna go nowhere. I do feel that the shoulders could have been a little bit more aggressive inwards. If you can see, I'm sitting back as far as I can, and the shoulders are pretty good. I've got big shoulders, so for someone with smaller shoulders, they may feel, okay, this could be a little bit more aggressive. So maybe something I could maneuver, but that would be quite expensive, but I do think they could have brought it in a little bit more. Secondly, on support, I would have liked to have seen something, I don't know if there's a technical name, so I'll just call it the thigh trap. Basically, when you're sitting down, if there's a little bit of foam towards your thighs, that makes you feel like you're not going to fall out going forward. I'm not saying that you are going to fall out going forward, but with that bit of a raised thigh trap, it makes you feel like you are basically locked in for your next gaming session. Onto the comfort aspect is something that I loved about this chair, and that's the 4-way lumbar support, or they call it the 4-way lumbar support. So anybody that's had a gaming chair and had a gaming pillow knows the absolute irritation of making sure that you get that pillow right. Generally, I just stick it all the way to the bottom or take it off. It's generally on straps or it's stuck on with Velcro. There are 2 dials on the left and right, and what these 2 dials do is they move this lumbar support basically up and down, and it also adjusts its concave to go out and in. So you can get that perfect concave and you can get into the perfect position for the type of back support that you need. Next on the comfort agenda is 4-dimensional armrests. Now, there is nothing new to this. They've been out for quite a while on many other different gaming chairs, but I found them to be a lot more flimsier on other gaming chairs. Don't get me wrong, there's always going to be an element of flimsiness to these types of features, but on the Kyros, it was a lot less flimsy, but still a little bit flimsy. But the point of this is it's extremely important for gamers that utilize armrests in their mouse movement, that they want a nice stable platform. So it offered quite a stable platform, for me at least, when utilizing the armrest in gaming and doing those wild flicks with your arm and your mouse pad. Next is not really something that you generally associate with comfort, but this chair uses Class 4 hydraulics. What are Class 4 hydraulics? Basically, it's the ability to do this. Like most of the gaming chairs, this does have recline, and it can recline it to a 165-degree angle. You do have the ability to rock, and you do have the ability to lock in your rock. So you can basically put the chair as far back as you want to go, and if you want to lock it into place, you simply just click it into place. Now I'm stuck like that. 165-degree test 1. Just one top tip, when it does come to the rocking, sometimes you have to lift the latch and then go a little bit forward to hear it unclick so that you can rock it back even further. Materials, there's nothing much to say here except that every single component of this chair is made from quality, from the trimmings to the base to the actual structure. You just feel like you're sitting in something that has been made from quality. Sturdiness, also something easy for me to report on. Now, I've had this chair for just over a month and Kyros has been like, where's the video, where's the video? But it's very important for me to be able to take a lot of time to be able to test this specific element. And that is that generally after a couple of weeks, every gaming chair that I've had will creak and moan and have these little bits of adjustment, or it sounds like metal scraping on metal, or this ee. No, I'm not going to repeat that sound. But this chair has had none after about a month or month and 2 weeks, so I called it 6 weeks. So I'm really impressed with the fact that this is a dead quiet chair no matter what I'm doing, and this is very silent. Lastly on the list of fundamentals, it needs to look good, and big check mark here, it looks really good. With hindsight, I do think that the darker gray would be a better color for mess, etc, etc. There's nothing wrong with a light gray, I just think that a darker color would fit most people. For the leatherette, that's going to take a very brave soul who's going to want to sit in a leatherette for a long time, but some people really prefer leatherette or PU leather, polyurethane leather, so the options are there, but the chair looks good. On to the conclusion, and sticking with the theme of getting to the point, this chair is awesome. But the price of this chair is also awesome. It comes in at 7,500 Rand, which is a bit of a stretch for most gamers. The price change changes the mental landscape in looking at this chair as a piece of furniture, now looking at it as an investment. And I don't think that this is a bad thing. I do believe that the high quality materials that Kyros has put into this does make it worth that price, but that is only something that you would be able to determine. If you are someone that is going to be sitting on a gaming chair for the next 4 or 5 years, I do think that this chair will last that long because of the build quality. That is something that you need to decide for yourself. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed this review. I certainly enjoyed reviewing this chair, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Cheers, goodbye.